One could say that we, as a nation, have suffered through a lot of things, always the minority. It was no different the year our story began. Year 1922, many events have happened this year. The first diabetes treatment with insulin, the first radio in the White House, Massachusetts opened all public offices to women. It was also the year a small school in an even smaller town was found.
Many people died that day, that year. All those lives ruined. Our school, just like most daily life activities, has stopped for a while. It was a very tough period of time. Life, as we knew it, changed to something completely new, something else, something we didn't expect. After this war, the world calmed down for a while. Our school came back to evolving, changing and progressing. Everyone was happy, but that didn't last forever.
Dear listeners, please listen to this message from the government of Czechoslovak Socialistic Republic. Yesterday, on the 20th August 1968, the army of the USSR crossed the borders of our country.
The communist system has stopped all Western culture from reaching our borders. History classes have definitely taught you a lot about the historical events of this time period. But what about the practical ones?
Jeans were not allowed. Why, you ask? Well, they originated from the West, and just as everything else that came from the West, they were forbidden.
This system lasted for a long time. Our parents were raised during it. It was definitely an impactful time in our history, but just like most things, good or bad, this period of time had passed.
During the days around 17th November 1989, huge protests were formed all across Czechoslovakia. You probably already know a lot about these protests, but I would like to introduce you to another one. One that happened right here in our school.
The protest lasted a couple of hours. Students became as united as ever. They showed their distaste for the system and demanded a change. The teachers didn't resist change either. They saw how problematic the whole system is. They understood why the students wanted it. They took their side. Conversation carried on for a long time, and some things did change. Our story is coming to an end. Let us just tell you a few things that happened after this year, a bit differently than we told the rest of the story. Just 3 years after the protest, another big change arrived. The student council. Students became much more invested in decision making, and many new ideas were created.
Our next stop is the beginning of e-learning. But before I get into that, let me just mention the countless trips that have been happening since the 90s. But back to e-learning, our school became more modern and helpful for both teachers and students.
Sports aren't foreign to our school either. We have even won a few awards for being a very sporty school.
As you all probably know, this year our school turns 100 years old. For a whole century, our school has educated young, intelligent people.
Many of them became successful, and this school was where it all began. We mentioned some of the events that shaped our school, and they are evolving now as well.
Times change, and our school does with it. Right now, we have the first female principal in the history of our school, which shows how much our school has evolved since the beginning.
So, to our school, from our class, happy the 100th birthday.